everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is so good to be back, you guys. If you did not watch my last two videos, you may not know this, but I lost my voice for about 2 weeks and it was kind of a nightmare. So it's really good to be back, and my voice is still a little bit scratchy, but at least it's better than it was. So I'm able to do this voiceover. So today's video is actually what I'm calling a daily journal. It's actually more of a weekly journal. It's basically just a very simple journal setup. I had this journal in my stash. I ordered it when Archer and Olive was doing their big, huge sale that they did a couple months ago. I'm not sure if this notebook is still available. If it is, I will link it, but I just had it, and I've kind of changed up the way I'm doing my bullet journaling. I'm using it more in terms of like my actual planner. I'm using it as my daily to-do list and habit tracking and things like that, and less an actual journal. So that's what this is going to become. I wanted to use the craft paper because I just love how soft it is and how calming it feels. That might sound strange, but the bright white pages in the regular Archer and Olive are great, but sometimes they can be a bit stark. And so this craft paper journal is so calming and relaxing to me. And I really like it. So I'm just doing a very simple, very minimal setup. This could actually be used as a bullet journal for people who really don't want to get too detailed with like mood tracking and habit tracking and things like that. They just want a place where they can be creative and still be very simple, and some might say minimal. This is minimal for me. I'm only using stickers and stamps. I'm doing very little drawing. I'm just adding some sparkles, and I'm using a lot of the washi tapes and a lot of the stickers that I got from the Washi Tape shop and Stationery Pal. I'll try to link everything in the description box below. The butterfly stamps that I'm using, I actually got from Amazon, so I will try to link those as well. I just recently became an Amazon affiliate, so I will try to set up my Amazon storefront as soon as possible so that you guys can shop from there. So what I'm doing is I set up the cover page just as a very quick nameplate page, nothing major. Again, just stickers, washi tape, stamps. Very simple, very easy. This whole setup took me about an hour, which from my other setups is very... That's really good. Some of my setups can take me 6 to 7 hours from start to finish. So this was very easy, and I really enjoyed the simplicity of it. I got to use some of my stash without going really overboard and just letting the craft paper background kind of shine. So I used a lot of browns and yellows and oranges, very muted colors, which I really love. So here I'm doing a very simple May cover page, and I'm using the little tab stickers that I got from Stationery Pal and a flower photo, I guess is kind of what it is, that I got from Amazon. The washi tapes are probably both from Amazon as well. I'll try to link them down below. And again, the butterfly stamps I also got from Amazon. If you guys did not know this, I have recently become obsessed with butterflies. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my teenage self coming out. I was a teenager in the 90s, so all the butterflies that are out, it's like, oh, my teenage self is rejoicing that butterflies are back in style. Because I've always loved butterflies. And I use them in my May setup for my regular bullet journal. I may have even used a couple in my reading journal with the fairies. I don't know. Like I said, I've been obsessed. So I'm using them again. And you'll see a lot more coming in this setup. But I'm doing just a really simple, I did a cover page, and then I'm just going to do the week's setup, and it's going to be very, very simple. Like I said, I'm using my stamps, I'm using a couple of markers just as almost like a highlighter, and then washi tape and stickers. I just wanted to keep this really simple. I really just want this to be somewhere that I can write down my thoughts for the day, where I can spend literally 3 minutes in the morning just writing down whatever happened the day before, for, or my thoughts for the day, that kind of thing. Maybe even a quote. I just really like the idea of having a dedicated journaling spot that's separate from my everyday to-do list, because my to-do list can get really big, and having all of those things on one page can kind of be overwhelming, in all honesty. And sometimes it distracts from the actual, I don't know the right word for it, but it distracts from the meditative state of journaling, if that makes sense. So that's another reason why I chose the craft paper, because again, I wanted it to be calming and just something that was easy for me to write in every day. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these every month, because again, it's going to be very simple, very minimal, very easy to set up. So you guys may not want to see something that's that easy, but maybe you do. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd want to see me set this up every month. They will be very short, quick videos. It won't be anything elaborate. Honestly, this is probably as elaborate as this is going to get. I don't intend on even doing this much every month. I just was really inspired by the butterfly stamps, so that's why it's more elaborate probably than it will be in future spreads. So I'm just kind of setting up the weeks here in just different formats. These are some of the spreads that I've done in my bullet journal in the past. Right now, I'm basically doing a page a day in my bullet journal, because my to-do list has gotten so big with starting this channel and with things coming up in our personal lives, maybe possibly starting another channel. You never know. Decisions to be made, that kind of thing. So my to-do list has grown exponentially in the last few weeks. So in my regular bullet journal, I'm doing basically a page a day. And while I really like it, it doesn't really leave a whole lot of space for the regular journaling that I used to do. And so that's why, again, that's why I'm creating this. So this page here, I actually only used stamps on this page, and I love the way that it turned out with the brown ink pad and the brown pen. I think it just is so, I don't know, there's something so calming about it that I just love. The flower stamps are also from Amazon. Most of these stamps actually, I think all of them, except for the day header stamps, came from Amazon. The day stamps, most of them came from Archer and Olive. One stamp set in particular that I'm pretty sure came from a seasonal surprise box. I will link it down below if it's available in the store, but I'm not 100% sure it will be. These stamps here are from Stationery Pal, and I love them. I think that they are so fun. They're very easy. I honestly prefer the wooden stamps over the acrylic stamps. I don't really care for the acrylic stamps. I know that they're more widely available for some reason, but I like the wooden stamps because I feel like my fingers don't get in the way, and I feel like it's easier to get a full stamp, if that makes sense, because you can see a lot, especially on this page here, where the acrylic stamp, it didn't stamp out all the way because, you know, I'm stamping in a notebook. So like, see that right there? Yeah. Kind of got annoying. Like, most of the time it doesn't bother me. Sometimes it almost gives it character if the stamp isn't fully stamped, but when it doesn't stamp like 90% of the stamp, it gets really annoying. But I feel like with the wooden stamps, that doesn't happen as often because I have some other butterfly stamps that I'll use here in just a minute that are wooden stamps, and they stamp a whole lot better. They're smaller, which could also be why they stamp better, but I don't know. They just seem to work better. I prefer the wooden stamps. That was a really long tangent about stamps, but it's been a really long time since I've talked to you guys. So anyways, this is one of my favorite spreads. I love the way that this turned out. After doing the flower stamps on the other page with all brown, I actually scrapped the idea that I had with all the other stickers that I was going to use, and I just went full on butterfly for this spread, and I love the way that it turned out. So this is the last spread here, and it is the last 3 days of May. So usually in my regular bullet journal, I do a full week every month, whether that month is in the previous month or the next month. Does that make sense? I always want to have Monday through Sunday as my week, if that makes sense. But in this journal, I wanted to make sure I kept the months together just because it's more of a journal. So I wanted to keep the months together, and I wanted to have an ending page where I can write down any sort of like highlights or thoughts on the actual full month. So I wanted to keep the full month within the month. Hopefully all that makes sense. So what I'm doing here is this right-hand page, I'm just gonna do short little thoughts and notes. I didn't really need a whole lot of space because I'm not very wordy when it comes to writing down my thoughts. I don't really need a whole lot of space. I don't write like full on paragraphs and pages and things like that because I don't know. I can't really think of things like that to write. I just basically write down what happens and how I felt about it. So for this last page, I didn't really need a whole lot of space. So I wanted to do this sort of like swarm of butterflies kind of flying across the page. I am obsessed with this page. I love the way that it turned out. I almost filled up the whole page because I was like, I don't need space to write. I just want more butterflies. But I did end up leaving a little bit of space for me to write. Not very much, but there's a little bit there. All right, so that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It is so good to be back, and I hope to see you in my next one. Thanks again. Bye.